Hello everybody, I hope you all are doing well. I am going to be creating some mixed media tags and I am using my favorite stamp set right now. It is from Altenew, the Beautiful Day stamp set, and I am taking some vellum and the outer outline stamps, and I'm going to ink them up with Versamark and stamp them on the vellum. And then I'm going to use some super fine embossing powder to emboss them. And I love this look. It's just a soft, delicate look for these tags that I'm creating. And just trying to see so I don't overlap the stamps. And then I just shake on the embossing powder, and the Versamark is sticky ink, so the embossing powder will stick to the ink, just in case you're new to heat embossing. It's really simple, and then you take a heat gun and it melts the embossing powder, so you get this really cool effect, and I love it. I love embossing stamped images for my projects. So I am just going to cut all of these out. I'm not going to bore you with all of that, but I fussy cut them out, and after probably about halfway through I realized that I probably should have gotten the die set for this stamp set. I didn't really realize that there was one, but I will be picking it up soon so that I don't have to fussy cut out all of those leaves. The flowers weren't so bad, it was the leaves that were a little tedious, but I'm taking some chipboard tags from Prima, and I am using some 7 Dot Studio Cotton Candy Dreams paper, and I just put them directly on to the paper, and then I cut them out. And I am taking some clear gesso, so when you're doing mixed media, you want to prep your paper with or your surface with gesso, whether it is clear gesso, black gesso, or white gesso. I love the pattern and the print on these on this paper, so I'm using clear gesso for this, and I just put a generous amount because I'm going to be adding a lot of sprays to my tags, and this allows you to add the sprays, and then the sprays will not soak into the paper. So after that dries, I'm going to add some white crackle texture paste, and I love this stuff. It gives a lot of interest and texture to your projects. So you just scrape it on, and this brush is a silicone brush from Prima, and I love it. It's really easy to clean off, and so I add a little thin areas and little thicker areas. That way I get a variation between larger cracks and smaller cracks. And then I have these tags. Well, one was from the paper collection, and then the other one I just cut out from the paper. And then just basically do the same exact thing to these smaller tags because I'm going to layer them on top. So I just put the crackle paste on top, and I did add a coat of gesso to the top paper tags as well. So after the crackle paste dries, and you want to let it dry on its own, I am roughing up the edges with my Prima Distress tool. I love this thing. You can also use some scissors to do this technique as well if you don't have a distress tool. So after I do that, I am taking a Tim Holtz stencil and some light paste, and I am just adding some more texture and to the tags, and I just kind of randomly put it on there. The stencil is so old and it's got cracks in it, so it just kind of seeps through, and it doesn't give a good impression. I gotta get a new one because I love this stencil. So I do the same exact thing on both tags, and then I will let that dry, and I do it on the smaller paper tags as well, so that I kind of get layers. I'm going to build up all my layers, and so I kind of want it to all flow nicely together. And let's see what's next. I am going to add the paper tags onto the chipboard tags, and as you could see, I kind of put one to the left and then the other one on the right side. That way I get a little variation on the tags so they're not exactly the same, although I do a lot of the same exact techniques and use the same products, but I wanted them to look a little bit different. So let's see. Try to do this in one shot for a voiceover. So I am using Glistening Waves Color Bloom spray and just spraying directly onto the tag, and then I will take some water and oh no, wait, I'm sorry. I take some Precious Stone Color Bloom spray and I am splattering it on, and the Glistening Waves is not dry yet, so it's still wet, so this is going to allow it to kind of blend together and flow nicely together and create a really nice background. So now I am adding the water, and again, this is going to create a nice flow for your tag and your background. And I just wanted a little bit of depth in the back of the tags, and the Precious Stone will seep into all those cracks that you for the crackle medium, and it just creates a lot of depth and texture. So now I'm going to start building up my tags. So I love this upholstery thread. It's thicker than just regular sewing thread, and I love it to kind of bunch up and add more texture. And then I have these little frames from Prima, and a supply list will be down below, so be sure to check it out. I am taking some of my favorite flowers, the stemmed flowers and then the white flowers. But first I'm going to take those embossed vellum pieces that I cut out, and I'm just going to layer them behind some of the paper and then behind the frame, and then I'm going to start building up all my flowers. So I am going to put on some music because there's not really much more to explain, and I hope you enjoy. After I have layered all of my flowers and all of my stamped images and everything onto my tags, I'm using some Frost Color Bloom spray. This has been discontinued, and you could use the same, get the same effect with gesso or white acrylic paint, a little bit of water, and kind of splatter it on with a paintbrush. And I do the same thing with the glistening waves just to finish it off. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to hit that subscribe button, and you could also share this video on your social media. It really helps me out. And be sure to check out the links down below, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks.